Welcome back everyone to Kiwi Grace. So we are going on our annual family trip. Where we've chosen to go this time is Nelson. We got up nice and early and the four of my family had breakfast at Norwest Cafe, which you saw some initial shots of there. And we drove all day and finally arrived in Nelson in the afternoon. So this is our accommodation. We stayed on Prince's Drive at the top of one of the hills in Nelson, and the views are absolutely stunning. We could see the whole of Tahunanui Beach right into the inlet and across the bay to the other side. The next day we woke up and did a drive to AirBNB where we had some brunch. It was delicious, really different though, really unique foods, a nice little garden setting. And then we headed to the iBright store, which is in AirBNB as well, around the corner. So again, this is another garden setting. They have a gift shop with all sorts of things inside, including fake flowers, gifts, Christmas ornaments, because this was at Christmas, and a nice little seating area outside. Such a cute wee place. And the absolute bonus about this is the guinea pig village. So my girls love the guinea pig village. What you can do is buy a wee pottle of carrots and you go and feed it to the guinea pigs, and they are so fluffy and so adorable, and they live in these wee houses. So they've created all these wee little guinea pig houses, like the hospital and the post office, and they run in and out with their pieces of carrot, and they look very happy and very content.
Since when did the baby one get here? It is so tiny. Lean over too.
No.
I wonder which house is the baby's.
So here we are panning around the guinea pig village. It is adorable. Look at that little purple house.
They probably do.
And the wee blue one,
Yeah.
the piggy bank. How cute. So sweet. And the wee polka dot one. I can't read what that says on the building.
Bush here.
My eyesight, but you can spy a wee visitor in the bush over there. Just hiding, nibbling away. So cute. The big tall high rise. We've got the guinea pig maternity ward, and look, the little baby was in the door, and a tiny little Christmas tree for Christmas. Just so adorable. The cutest place, and well worth a visit for a little pottle of carrots. It was only a couple of dollars, and the girls really enjoyed it. It's a nice wee spot. So after the guinea pig village, we headed to an auction house and a pottery store. This is the pottery store. Inside there were some nice cups and plates and these seagulls. My parents used to have one of those at their house. It used to sit on the balcony, but we had the Christchurch earthquakes in 2019 and 2011, 2010, 2011, and they basically shook the seagull to pieces and it fell off its perch. But it was very cute, very iconic. They're hard to find now. Apparently there's a new designer who creates them. And here we went to an antique store. We had a good look around here. The classic Kiwi ducks. You used to find them on a lot of walls back in the day. Old cameras. Look at those radios, aren't they incredible? Love the pottery. Some wee cars. Very cute radio. An old Hornby train. This place was packed. It actually moved places. It used to be in another spot which looked like a wee castle, but now it's slightly off to the side. My uncle's cat looks exactly like this one, by the way. Classic old Kiwiana stuff. Is that Winston Churchill? I thought this was cool. Very expensive though. And how amazing is this? That was very cute. And this painting looks so ornate. Some amazing stuff. Interesting to look around. So the next morning we headed to the Nelson City Centre. The main reason for this is the Nelson Market. The Nelson City Centre is just stunning. There's lots of greenery and there are little baskets with flowers. It's a really pretty wee place. It was very busy because it was Christmas, so the market is absolutely packed, but it has so many things on offer. Candied nuts, jewellery, crockery, cheese, honey, produce, fresh berries were completely in season the time of year that we were there, so we just stocked up on raspberries, blueberries, and my favourite, blackberries. We got big punnets, and we'd have big punnets, big bowls of fruit salad in the evening after dinner, which were delicious. There's just so much on offer here, but it is very hot and there are a lot of people.
Ice cream store.
We ended up getting a couple of things. We've got some pottery flowers. Oh, there they are there. So we've got a couple of small ones of those for Mum. And we also got a croissant and another pastry, which I actually forgot about. Aren't they adorable? And this is the honey man. He had all sorts of things, waxes and honeys and honeycomb. And the doggy at the market. Dogs are so welcome on leash. And we got one of these. I thought they were fairly cute. Little spider magnets. So afterwards we were hot and we stopped at Penguino Ice Cream, which is kind of a Dutch inspired ice creamery. They have medal winning ice creams and they're so creamy and so delicious and really unique flavours. We had a good walk around the main street and into the shops in Nelson as well, and then we headed to Lambretto Cafe, which was on the main road there. And finally home in the afternoon, just for some relaxed time. Such a stunning view. I can't get enough of this view. The clouds are just never ending. So beautiful. So after putting our feet up for a little bit and having a cuppa, we headed to Te Hunanui Beach and we cooled off in the water. It was super refreshing, very beautiful. Then we headed beachside and we cleaned off in the shower, very convenient. Get all the sandy toes cleaned up, and then we grabbed an ice cream from this ice cream truck. And the flavours were delicious. I think I ended up getting the salted caramel thing. And we enjoyed that sitting on the picnic bench down by the sea. Super delicious. After our little snack intermission, we headed down to the Te Hunanui playgrounds, which is awesome.
Not this time.
Before we headed back to our accommodation to start dinner, we decided to have a wee drive around. We headed to a suburb Monaco, which is kind of a wee spit, and I didn't realise there was an unsealed surface. I GPSed it, but it doesn't show it on the GPS, so we ended up taking the cars over beach for about, I don't know, 50 metres maybe, but it was an easy ride and very fun. The next day we headed to Mapua. So Mapua's a wee drive, I don't know, it would be west, and we decided to head to the Recreations Interactive Gallery. This place was incredible. It's full of all sorts of arts and crafts which have a unique spin to them. So you can see the wee butterfly before spinning around the lights. These amazing looking mirrors. But they had all these fancy wee gizmos on the wall. A pine cone light. and just unusual things that moved that were just interesting to watch.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bull.
This is a little bull that makes patterns in sand.
Its own pattern, isn't it? Did you
We
see
watched
that?
it for a little bit. This other weird
Wow, look,
thing
bulls
on
go
the wall.
down.
And there were bits of areas where the girls could push buttons, and the displays were very interactive. They could watch them move. It was fun for everyone, fun for all ages. A really good place to visit. I would highly recommend this place. And it honestly took up about half an hour. Well used time.
Flick it the other way.
And as you come to the end of this gallery, there are things you can buy as well. This was super cute. It was a wee cat. You push a button and the cat pops up after a few seconds and switches the button, or the switch, turns the switch off.
Yeah. Oh, and it's got a
This was an
spit up
amazing
the top.
barbecue with a spit. Incredible. You can see the kids love twisting all the knobs, pushing all the buttons.
A all of this sort of stuff. Hello. How are you? Yeah,
A couple of minutes down the road, we ended up in the actual seaside village of Mapua. So we went to all the little knick-knack gallery stores. They have a good range of bits and pieces, but this place is super expensive. I mean, you're looking at $60, $80 for a cup, which is fine. They're beautiful, they're stunning, and they're well made. It is a really beautiful place to look around. All sorts of galleries and coffee stores.
later we can, yeah.
And we headed to this little restaurant for lunch.
isn't it?
I think it's called the Jellyfish Cafe or the Jellyfish Restaurant. The Jellyfish. It was really nice. So the kids' meals were delicious. They came in little square pots. They had chips and fish and a wee drink each that was included. And I had fish and chips, being that it was a fish restaurant. And I thought I had to have something seafood themed. We had a wee wander down on the pier and enjoyed watching the water flow by. And after we'd been to Mapua, we headed to Rabbit Island, where we enjoyed a nice afternoon swim. Very refreshing. A few less people here, and one of the girls decided to make a teepee with the driftwood, which actually came out looking amazing. We've got a few pictures in it at the end. There's Dad going for a wander along the beach. It looks cold, but it wasn't. It was nice and warm and mild. Here's the driftwood teepee. So the next day was New Year's Day. Because there won't have been very many shops open, we decided to head to the beach. We tried Kai Teri Teri, but it was too packed. Nowhere to get a seat, to get a car park. So we decided to go to Little Kai Teri Teri, which is just around the corner. This place was stunning. We are so glad we came here. The afternoon before, we'd been to the supermarket and stocked up on all sorts of things for a Christmas Day, or for a New Year's Day lunch, sorry. Cheeses, spreads, salads, and buns and such like, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. It was amazing and so relaxing, and we just spent the entire day here, in and out of the water. The sand is golden, the sea is so clear and so warm, and it's just such a beautiful place to swim. It has a nice wee drop off as soon as you get into the water, so you don't have to walk out too far either. And we made sure to bring these sunshades on the trip with us. They just protected us from the sun, gave us a wee area of shade and shelter, and the kids enjoyed pottering around in them for the day as well. But really, they're all water babies, so we spent majority of the time in the water. On the way home, we went past this wee sunflower field. Isn't it gorgeous? And the hops, so the hops are used to make beer. We headed to the Real Fruit Ice Cream Cafe, and this is an iconic little cafe in between Mapua and Nelson, I guess. And they have the tallest fruit ice creams, which they top with a cherry. The next day we headed to Wakefield, and there was a big market on there, which we'd heard about through some family. And we had a good look around there, although we didn't really come away with anything. And then we headed to the Heritage Park, which had an open day on, and it was fantastic. So they had a wee market, lots of food stalls, and they had many of their classic engines running. So we actually had a go on this wee steam engine. That was very fun. And we had a wee look around the market area. Ended up getting a whitebait patty, and we got slushies for the girls, which they enjoyed because it was so super hot. And you'd see the odd wee contraptions driving around here and there. There's the steam train or the steam engine again. So the girls wanted a ride on this. This was a wee, looked like a wee homemade wagon with barrels and drums on the back. So here we're out on the steam engine. It basically looped around the entire park. So not only was it a cool ride, it was fun to have a look around the different areas and see what they had on offer. Last thing we had to go on is this wee jig. I don't think there's a really good picture of it, but it was basically an engine operated jig. Afterwards we were super hot, so headed down to the Lees River for such a cold, refreshing swim. This is a bit of the waterfront in Nelson. It's really beautiful. So we'd been recommended this by some family members who had been recently, and what it was a cathedral full of Christmas trees, and the Christmas trees were created and decorated by different companies or organisations around the Nelson community. So here is the sweetest wee mouse Christmas tree design. And we have this beautiful teddy bear design. We've got the manger scene, a classic scene in the church.
Yeah.
There were many, many Christmas trees on display. They were all around the outside walls.
Thank you.
And we spent probably about half an hour walking around here. They were just really interesting. So many different designs. You can see this wooden Christmas tree and this driftwood Christmas tree using pine cones as the ornaments. A beautiful Christmas lily display there.
Number 5. I'm going to have to remind myself what one number 5 was.
These are so perfect. Little beadwork. The buzzy bee ornament. And this was needlework. All sewed and created by the creators of the tree. You can see how unique some of these designs were. The brief was a Christmas tree, but really they could do anything Christmas tree inspired as well. Like this flaxseed Christmas tree. Beautiful in its own way.
Actually, oh, is it? Oh, because of the daffodil.
The daffodil Christmas tree.
What is your favourite?
Look at these ornaments.
You're not going to tell me. Oh,
So well created, so pretty. And the Christmas trees look stunning under the stained glass. I really like this one. This was all created out of sugar fondant. The detail was incredible.
No.
I think it was from the Cake Makers Guild. So essentially they're all edible, I guess.
Nelson Miniatures Group.
Picks peanut butter.
Memories and gas. And Fido at the top. I'll be doing justice here.
And this was from the local golf club. They had golf ball ornaments and golf clubs as the tree. I thought that was really creative. Classic red and green Christmas tree. Anything with twinkling lights is a winner, though.
Greens and reds. It's a nice one.
And this was
considering the dark.
interesting as well. Organ. Yeah. The grand organ. So after we'd been to the Christmas tree display, we headed to Founders Heritage Park. It's an old style park filled with buildings from the, I guess, late early 1900s. All the old tools. This is the old doctor's office. So you get some scary instruments in there. You either love or hate looking around an old doctor's office. I find the old things fascinating. And very interesting to see what the old cures were as well. Oh, this is one of the the Pamu that my granddad was on in his youth. This is one of the planes, or the plane, that is at the Heritage Park. And it's a cargo plane, so there's a huge hold inside. There's Dad sitting on the seat. It's the transport section at the Founders Park, and we can see the Newman's coaches there, the bus transportation system, and the Cobb and Co coaches, which would have been pulled by mighty big horses back in the day. And this is a reimagined miniature brewery back in the time where beer would have been created, and it just shows the heating chambers and the hop canisters, and it was quite a nice interactive display. It had voices and sounds coming from above, just explaining the process and reenacting the voices back in the day. We ended up having lunch at the Founders Heritage Park Cafe. The meal was fairly nice. The girls had pizza and chips, and the rest of us chose something off the main menu. We see a couple of seagulls fighting over a big sausage here that someone had left on the table.
That's a grumpy seagull.
After we'd been to the Heritage Park, a short drive down the road, we went to the Miyazu Gardens, the Japanese gardens of Nelson. And they are really beautifully presented. Japanese gardens, it's one of my favourite. I think it's a pine trees, Kaizuka pine, maybe not. They had the beautiful gravel gardens, and they had lily ponds and stepping stones through water and these beautiful archways. And it was a really calm, peaceful, lovely area just to wander around and also keep out of the sun, a little bit of shade. As we walked the stepping stones here, we could see dragonflies and little hints of goldfish tails. It's such an idyllic wee area. When the lily pads opened out, there was an area which seemed to be inhabited by eels. There were so many of them there, and it was fun spotting them in between the reeds and the lilies and the oxygen weed. at one of the lakes we saw a wee family of ducklings and the mummy duck. And some more eels. So after we'd been to the Japanese garden, we headed down to a local fish supply store to see if they had any prawns for dinner. Unfortunately, they were fairly well cleared out, but we did get a chance to have a wee look down at one of the wharves. And there were some people fishing off here, but it was fairly quiet. That evening after dinner, we headed into town and had a look at a Christmas light display. So the man who creates these light displays is retiring. They must take a very long time to put up and a very long time to pack away. So this is his last year doing these displays. And it's a real treasure. It's so amazing to watch. The light display changes to music. I can't actually play any of the clips with the music because the music's copyrighted, but you can see that the lights dance away to the sounds and the beats of the music and the bass and the treble. And the girls' favourite bits were when a light up ghost would appear. And I think there were light up pumpkins as well. So all in all, it was a pretty amazing display, and there was lots of variation. And the whole time we were there, we didn't see a song repeat once. And the songs were pretty upbeat and interesting to listen to. The following day, a group of us head down to the Cable Bay Adventure Park. So we wanted to do the Skywire while in Nelson. We came here last year, and unfortunately this was completely booked out, so we were unable to do it. And we were really keen on doing it this year, just as a little something different. So the whole premise of it is you sit in this barrel-shaped chair, your legs dangle down, and you go flying down over the gully at like 90, 100 kilometers an hour over to the other side, and then you come flying backwards. We were super nervous about doing it initially because we hadn't seen too much footage of it online, but it was a really great experience. The guide was awesome. He was funny, he was knowledgeable, and quite interesting to listen to. So here, two of us are hopping into the Skywire, belting up, and we do the countdown, and then they're set to go. Looking a bit nervous there.
90 something after that. The only thing that's going to cause you to drop that phone is the thing that's about to happen. Good luck, guys! Of course.
The ride shot off in speed across the valley, and then you slowly lift up on the other side, which seems a long way across, and then it lets you down again and you come flying back and back into the starting position. It's super nerve-wracking watching this all unfold when you haven't had your turn yet. So when it came for our turn to hop onto the swing, the heart's in the ears, and you are just waiting to feel how it feels when you're suddenly released from the giant swing. But it was absolutely amazing. So much fun. It went fast, but it didn't make my tummy drop, and the views were outstanding. Forest around us seemed so untouched and so dense, and it was just really beautiful. And as we slowed down in the middle of the ride, you could hear the bird song all around us.
God. No, I'm not looking down. I'll put my camera down, but
Oh, we tilted.
like nice colours in the bush.
And like you look out to the right and it's like all been like chipped away in the pine, but here it's just like all the native. Yeah, we'd be dead, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's nice without shoes on.
We're going real quick here.
Are we?
Like it's just so still.
Beautiful. It's so untouched down there.
anything you drop here, it'd be gone.
Yeah. That's so much fun!
So this was a really cool activity for our final day here. After this, we went for a drive in the Backlands. We went to a pub for lunch and had a final swim at Little Kaiteriteru just before we left. And I managed to capture this view in the evening of a stunning sunset on our last evening. We had dinner outside and we enjoyed multiple games of cards and just enjoyed each other's company before our drive home. On our drive home, we went the scenic route via Kaikoura. We went past the seal colony and saw all the seals just relaxing on the rocks. It was fairly cold, it had been drizzling, but it's always a nice wee treat to hop out of the car and have a look at the seals. They are stinky, they are noisy, and there are so many of them. After Kaikoura, we all went our separate ways and headed home. We collected our dogs and straight home to tea. And we had such an amazing trip. We really enjoyed it. Beautiful, warm, hot weather. Lots of swimming every day, even though I didn't manage to get clips of everywhere we went and every swim we went. You can see we definitely saw many highlights and we all had a really, really great time. So next job is to look for where we're going to go next year. We will go on another annual family trip. We are possibly looking at somewhere like Australia. But wherever we go, it's definitely something we'll all look forward to throughout the year because we know we have so much fun and we get up to so many different activities. So wherever you are and whatever you're about to do, thank you so much for watching us and we will see you next time. See you later.